Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLES. Let's get to the news. Today, we're diving deep into some of the latest developments surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that's been making headlines not just for their on-field success, but also for some strategic moves that could shape their future. As many of you know, the Eagles are coming off a Super Bowl victory, and the expectations are sky high once again. But with every high, there's always the looming question: what's next? How are they addressing their roster needs? And what does that mean for their chances this season? Well, recent events and expert insights suggest that the Eagles are actively looking to bolster their secondary, specifically at the cornerback position, which has become a critical focus point after some injury setbacks. Now, let's start by talking about what's happened just this week. The Eagles made a couple of moves at cornerback, and these aren't just minor adjustments. They're part of a bigger picture, a calculated effort to strengthen their defense as they chase another Super Bowl appearance. It's no secret that the secondary is a crucial part of any championship team. And for the Eagles, maintaining a strong, reliable cornerback core is essential, especially given the injuries they've been dealing with early in the season. This week, the Eagles placed cornerback Jakorian Bennett on injured reserve, which is a significant blow. Bennett had been playing a notable role in their defensive scheme, and losing him means they have to find immediate replacements. On top of that, they're also facing some uncertainty with Adoree Jackson, who's listed as doubtful for Week 4 because of a groin injury. Both Jackson and Bennett were expected to be their top two cornerbacks early on, with Jackson seeing around 66% of the defensive snaps, and Bennett on the field for about 83%. Now, with both potentially missing action, the Eagles need to find options fast. This situation puts the spotlight on the younger players in the roster. Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are currently the most important cornerbacks available for the Eagles. Mitchell has been a steady presence, and DeJean, a second-year player, has been primarily used in the slot as part of the nickel defense. But here's the thing: DeJean's role in the nickel is vital, especially because the Eagles often rely on that scheme to adapt to various offensive threats. If both Jackson and Bennett are out for a prolonged period, the Eagles will have to lean on their depth, which is still developing. That's why many insiders believe the team will be looking to add a veteran cornerback through trades. And that's where things get interesting. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Eagles are one of the most active teams in the trade market this season, especially under the leadership of GM Howie Roseman, who's no stranger to making bold moves. Fowler pointed out that Roseman and the Houston Texans' GM Nick Caserio have been among the most aggressive dealmakers in recent years. Interestingly enough, a few weeks ago, the Eagles and Texans actually made a trade involving John Mechie III and a 6th-round pick for Harrison Bryant and a 5th-rounder. That shows how proactive Roseman has been, not hesitating to pull the trigger when opportunities arise. Now, Fowler suggests that the Eagles might not be done at cornerback yet. Given the mounting injuries and the need for experienced cover men, it's quite possible we see more moves in the coming weeks. The trade deadline is always a crucial period, and teams like the Eagles, who are still competing for a Super Bowl, will look to shore up their weaknesses. It's early days, but the message is clear: the Eagles are eyeing the market, especially for teams that might be willing to sell. When we look at potential trade targets, one team that jumps out is the Atlanta Falcons. They suffered a tough loss in Week 3, and their cornerback depth could be tested as well. Bailey Bassett from Clutch Points mentioned Falcons cornerback Mike Ford Jr. as a possible target for the Eagles. Ford is a reserve corner who's primarily been used on special teams, and he hasn't played more than 165 defensive snaps in a season since 2018. While he's not a household name, adding a player like Ford could provide the Eagles with some veteran experience and depth, especially if they're looking for someone who can step in immediately without an extensive acclimation period. But of course, acquiring a veteran cornerback isn't always straightforward. The Eagles would ideally want someone with more defensive experience, someone who can slide into their scheme seamlessly and contribute right away. The tricky part is that other teams aren't just going to give away players for free. The Falcons, for example, might not be eager to sell, especially after a disappointing start to the season. Their recent blowout loss might have them reconsidering their approach, but they're also not necessarily in a full rebuild mode. Teams like Atlanta could be hesitant to part with key players unless the price is right, so the Eagles will need to be strategic in their negotiations. Now, let's talk about the players who are currently on the roster and how the Eagles might fill the gaps. Besides Mitchell and DeJean, the team has added defensive backs like Perry Nickerson to the roster, trying to build depth. But with Jackson listed as doubtful and Bennett on IR, the options become limited quickly. The next man up could be Kelly Ringo, a third-year player who started 4 games as a rookie, but has played only on special teams this season. Ringo's versatility and potential make him a candidate to step in if needed, but it's clear that the Eagles will be looking to add someone with more defensive snaps under their belt. This situation underscores how important roster management and strategic trades are in the NFL, especially early in the season when injuries start to pile up. The Eagles, with their aggressive front office, will be watching the market closely, ready to pounce if the right opportunity arises. They're no strangers to making bold moves, and their recent history proves that they're willing to invest in their championship window. Looking ahead, the next month will be very telling. As the trade deadline approaches, we'll get a clearer picture of which teams are sellers and which are buyers. For teams like the Eagles, that means assessing who might be available and at what cost. If they find the right veteran cornerback, it could make a significant difference in their secondary, especially as they face increasingly tough opponents in the coming weeks. Of course, this also raises questions about the long-term plans for the Eagles' defense. They've built a solid foundation with their front seven and have a promising secondary core, but injuries expose vulnerabilities that need quick fixes. The coaching staff, led by head coach Nick Sirianni and defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon, will need to adapt and find ways to maximize the talent they have while also integrating new pieces if trades happen. And speaking of the division, the NFC East is shaping up to be as competitive as ever. The Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, and even the Washington Commanders are all looking to make their mark, and the Eagles know that every game counts. Strengthening the secondary could be the difference in those close divisional matchups, games that often come down to a single play, a timely interception, or a crucial pass breakup. That's why every addition, every trade, every move counts at this stage of the season. In terms of statistical context, the Eagles' defense has shown resilience, but also moments of vulnerability, especially in the secondary. Their ability to force turnovers and create pressure has been a key part of their success, but as offenses get more creative and defenses face mounting injuries, consistency becomes a challenge. Adding a seasoned veteran cornerback could help stabilize the unit, especially in high-pressure situations, and give the team more confidence heading into the critical stretch of the season. Now, let's not forget the fans. You guys are the heartbeat of this team. Watching how the roster evolves and seeing your team make strategic moves can be exciting but also nerve-wracking. The passion, the hope, the anticipation, those are what make being an Eagles fan so special. Every week, you show up, cheer loud, and believe in this team's potential. And right now, with the way things are shaping up, the Eagles are doing everything they can to give you a team that's ready to fight for another Super Bowl run. They're assessing their roster, looking for ways to improve, and making sure that they're as prepared as possible for the battles ahead. So stay tuned, because the next few weeks will be crucial. The Eagles are definitely in the market for some defensive reinforcements, and whether it's a veteran like Mike Ford Jr., or another player who can step in and make an impact, one thing's for sure, they're not taking their foot off the gas. The division is tough, the road to another championship is challenging, but the Eagles are showing that they're serious about maintaining their status as NFC contenders. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the team should make a big splash at the trade deadline? Who would you like to see added to the secondary? Do you believe these injuries will hinder their Super Bowl aspirations? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Philadelphia Eagles. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and your team is right in the thick of it, fighting every step of the way.